The space station floated above Earth like a silent watcher. Inside its cold metal walls, humans and alien prisoners were kept apart by strong rules and even stronger fears. The aliens were not enemies anymore, but not trusted either. Kale was just a young maintenance worker. He wasn't a soldier, not a scientist. His job was to fix broken wires, check air filters, and stay out of trouble. But that day, trouble found him. It began with a power surge. Alarms screamed. Lights flickered. Emergency doors slammed shut across the alien wing. Kale was nearby, doing routine checks. He heard the noise, then a soft, strange sound like someone crying. He turned. Smoke filled the hallway. Something had exploded near the medical room. Without thinking, Kale ran in. He didn't wait for a suit or gloves. Someone needed help. Inside, he found her. She was on the floor, her skin pale lavender, her eyes half closed. Silver blood dripped from her shoulder. She was beautiful, but looked broken, weak, and scared. Kale knelt beside her. "Hey, don't move, I'll get help," she coughed, barely breathing. "Help, now." She reached out and touched his arm. That's when it happened. Her silver blood smeared on his skin, warm and then hot. A burning sensation shot up his veins. He gasped, falling back, shaking his hand like it had been stung by fire. But there was no pain. Just a strange pull. Their eyes locked. And in that moment, something passed between them, a current, a connection. She whispered one word before losing consciousness. Bound. Security rushed in seconds later. They saw Kale on the ground and the alien girl fainted beside him. Medics separated them. One wiped his arm clean. Another checked his vitals. He tried to explain, but no one listened. They only cared that he had touched alien blood. They dragged him away for testing. For hours, Kale sat alone in a white room. His body felt strange, his heart beat like a drum. His skin tingled, and in the back of his mind, he heard whispers, not words. Not sounds, just feelings, like someone was calling him. He closed his eyes and saw a planet, burning, screaming, begging. He jumped back, sweating. The door opened. A man in a lab coat stepped in, frowning. "You're Kale Vaughn?" "Yes," Kale said slowly. The man didn't sit. He only stared. "You touched her blood. That should have killed you." "I didn't mean to. She's Valari," the man interrupted. "Their blood is ... coded. It bonds only to their kind." "Not humans," Kale blinked. "Then why am I still alive?" "That's what we want to know." Later, they brought the alien girl into a separate room for observation. Her name was Relia. She looked around weakly until she saw Kale's picture on the screen. Then she sat up. "Where is he?" she asked. The doctor was shocked. "You shouldn't speak. Your body is weak." But she ignored him. "I need the one who carries my blood." That night, Kale dreamed again. This time he saw her. She stood in a dark space, stars behind her. "You feel it too, don't you?" she said. "You're linked to me now. You carry our call." "What call?" he asked in the dream. She reached out, her voice soft. "My people are dying. Only you can hear them now." He woke up, heart pounding, and he understood. This accident wasn't just an accident. It was the beginning of something far greater. Something that could save a whole species. Or destroy him. Kale didn't sleep much after the accident. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her, the alien girl with silver blood and violet eyes. Her voice echoed in his dreams. She wasn't speaking normal words, but he could somehow understand her. Her feelings entered his mind like soft waves. Fear, sadness, urgency. In the real world, he was still under watch. Doctors tested his blood every hour. They ran scans on his brain. They checked his skin, heart, and eyes. But the results made no sense. His blood had changed. One scientist whispered, "It's like her blood copied part of him." Or he copied part of her. The others didn't like that idea. They called him contaminated. Meanwhile, in the alien medical bay, Relia woke up fully for the first time. Her body was weak, but her voice was clear. "I need to see him," she said. A guard frowned. "The human?" She nodded. "He is not just human anymore." They didn't listen, so she closed her eyes and sent a pulse. Kale was sitting alone when his body jolted forward, like something pulled him from inside. His vision blurred and his ears rang. Then he heard her voice, clear, calm, in his head. "Follow the thread, Kale. Come to me." He jumped from the bed, ignoring the guards outside. Somehow he knew which way to go, through doorways, down corridors. Security shouted, but he didn't stop. When he reached the observation chamber, Relia stood behind the glass. And when she saw him, her lips parted in shock. And then a small smile. "It worked," she whispered. The doctors arrived seconds later, dragging him away. But she raised her hand. "Stop. He's bonded. You cannot keep us apart." One general stepped forward. "He's human. You're not. You infected him. That's not bonding." Relia's voice grew cold. It was not infection. It was choice by the blood itself. She turned to Kale. "You didn't feel pain when it touched you, did you?" Kale shook his head. "No burning. No sickness." He nodded. "Just connection. Like I knew your name before you said it." The room went silent. The Valari bond, known as the life thread, was a sacred thing. Only their kind could share it. It allowed them to hear each other across planets, to feel each other's pain, joy, and somehow. Now Kale had that too. They put Kale and Relia into a sealed chamber together, but under heavy watch. The council didn't trust either of them. "You've made me a target," Kale said to her. "Earth thinks I'm dangerous now." She lowered her head. "You didn't ask for this. I'm sorry." He looked at her for a moment. "But you're not scared of me." She raised her eyes. "Because I know what the bond feels like. I know you wouldn't hurt me." Then she paused, nervous. "But there's more. I need to tell you the truth." Relia explained everything. Her species, the Valari, were on the edge of extinction. A disease, maybe even a weapon, had wiped out 90% of them. The only way to save the rest was through the life thread bond, but too many of her people were too weak to carry it anymore. They believed their species was finished. Until now, your body, your mind, took in the thread, she said. "It shouldn't be possible, but somehow you carry it." Kale was speechless. "So what do you want from me?" She touched his hand gently. "I want you to help me. Not as a tool, but as a partner. You can hear the call now, the voices of my dying kind." He pulled his hand back slightly. "But I'm not a hero." She gave a soft smile. "Neither am I, but we are all that's left." That night, Kale lay on the floor of the chamber, thinking. The whispers were louder now. But they weren't scary. They were calling for help. He heard a child crying, a mother praying, a city falling silent. He covered his ears, but it was inside him now, and through it all. Relia was quiet, listening to Then she whispered in the dark, "If we go, there may be no way back." Kale didn't answer right away, but deep inside, he already knew he was going. The door to the chamber slid open with a loud hiss. 2 soldiers stepped in, guns pointed, faces cold. "Get up," one of them said. "The Earth Council wants to speak with you both, now." Kale exchanged a glance with Relia. Her eyes narrowed, and her body tensed, but she said nothing. She simply nodded and stood up slowly. They were escorted through narrow steel hallways, watched by cameras on every corner. The humans kept their distance. It wasn't just fear anymore, it was suspicion. Kale was no longer one of them. They entered the high chamber, a large circular room filled with holographic screens and 10 council members sitting behind thick glass walls. They all looked down at Kale and Relia from above, like judges at a trial. A deep voice boomed. Kale Vaughn, human technician. Age 23. Your blood has been changed by alien contact. We have reason to believe you are now compromised. Kale felt his stomach twist. I didn't ask for this, he said. I was trying to help her. One of the older councilwomen leaned forward. And by helping her, you may have endangered Earth. Relia stepped forward. He saved my life. Without him, the bond would have died. You don't understand, he carries the last lifeline of my people. The council went silent. Then one man scoffed. You expect us to believe that a single human, an untrained maintenance worker, is now the only key to saving your species? Relia nodded. Yes, he laughed. Convenient. Kale stepped forward now, anger rising. I didn't want this, but it's real. I hear things. I see things when I sleep. I can feel them. Your scanners saw it too. A scientist's voice came over the intercom. It's true. His brainwaves have shifted. He's syncing with the Valari mind stream. He's the first human to do that. The council looked uneasy. Some whispered to each other. Then the chairman stood. We are not here to argue about science, he said firmly. We are here to decide whether this bond is a threat. Relia's voice was soft but clear. You fear what you do not understand. But if you destroy this bond, you destroy hope. Kale added. You locked me up. Called me infected. But I didn't change into a monster. I changed into someone who could feel what they feel. The chairman frowned. And that's the problem. What if they can control you now? Use you to spy on Earth, or worse? A sudden beep echoed in the chamber, an alert. The room dimmed, and a hologram appeared above them. It showed a dying planet, gray skies, crumbling towers, and thousands of thin, weak Valari crawling through dust and ash. This is Relia's homeworld, said a female council member. This footage was taken just 2 weeks ago. A silent planet. No messages, no rescue signals. They are falling into extinction. Why now suddenly do they need us? Kale couldn't stay quiet. Because I accidentally became the bridge they needed. Relia stepped forward again. Our last chance of survival was to reach the ancient AI beneath our capital. But it only opens to a bonded one. Our people were too sick, too broken. Now Kale carries the signal key. Without him, it stays locked forever. Another councilman scoffed. And what happens if we send him? He dies, or worse, gains power. We cannot control. Kale clenched his fists. I don't want power. I just want to help. You can send guards, monitors, anything you want. But let me try. Silence filled the chamber. Then the chairman said the words Kale feared. Request denied. Kale blinked. What? You are not authorized to leave. The risks are too high. You will be kept under observation until we understand more. Relia will be returned to containment. No, Relia cried. Please, you don't understand. Every hour counts. They are calling him because they are dying. Security moved in. Kale's heart pounded. As guards grabbed his arms. He heard the call again in his mind, louder, more painful now. Cries, screams, a city collapsing into dust. They were dying faster now, he screamed. You're killing them. You're killing them by stopping me. Relia reached out, tears in her eyes. Kale. They were dragged apart as the doors closed. Later that night, locked back in his chamber. Kale sat in the dark. His skin tingled. His blood burned like silver fire. And deep inside, he felt them one more time. But this time, the voice was different. It wasn't begging. It was final. If you don't come, we won't be here tomorrow. Kale stood up, and he knew what he had to do. He was going to escape. No matter what it took. The stars were silent. The stolen ship Kale flew made no sound as it glided through space, heading toward a planet no human had ever stepped on. The Lara 7, once a proud world, was now listed in Earth's database as dead, unstable, unsafe. But for Kale, it wasn't just a name. It was a voice inside his chest, a cry that wouldn't stop. Every second he delayed, it felt like thousands were slipping away. Relia sat beside him, eyes locked on the screen. Her face looked calm, but her hands trembled. "We are late," she said. "Too late, maybe." Kale looked at her. "We're not giving up now." She nodded. "I hope the bond doesn't break before we land. If it does, we'll find only graves." They broke through the cloudy atmosphere, and the sight below took Kale's breath away. Nothing but gray dust. No rivers, no trees. Buildings stood broken like bones. Huge machines, long dead, lay scattered like fallen giants. "Was this your capital?" Kale asked. Relia whispered. "Yes, it was once full of light, music, laughter." She wiped her eyes, now only echoes. The ship landed in the middle of the ruins. The air was thin, too thin for humans to survive long. Kale put on a breathing mask, but Relia walked out barefaced. Her kind had evolved to survive this poison. They walked through the ruins. Kale's boots crunched on broken glass and ash. Then a sound. Faint. A cough. Kale rushed toward it and found a small Velari child, barely breathing, lying beside a collapsed wall. Her skin was pale gray, eyes sunken. Kale knelt beside her. Hey, it's okay." She opened her eyes and whispered. One word, "Threadbearer," Relia gasped. She seized the bond. More footsteps echoed. From the shadows, a dozen more emerged, thin, dying, silent, but their eyes lit up when they saw Kale. He felt it like a wind rushing through his chest. The call, the life thread. It was trying to connect. Relia led him deeper into the ruins. They stopped at a large black wall, covered in strange glowing symbols. Behind it, the ancient AI core slept. "This is it," she said. "Only one who carries the bond can open it." Kale stepped forward. The wall pulsed. Lines of silver light spread out like veins. A deep voice echoed from inside. "Imprint detected. Velari Threadbearer confirmed. Access granted." The door opened with a low hum. Inside, a round room waited. In its center was a crystal console glowing weakly. Relia touched it and collapsed to her knees. Kale caught her. "What's wrong? It's too late. The core is nearly dry." "It needs more." "More what?" "More life force. A full connection. The bond must be completed." Kale understood. It needed his blood. He stood in front of the console. "What happens if I give it what it needs?" "You could lose consciousness," Relia said. "Maybe never wake up." He looked around at the dying faces of her people. At the child who called him Threadbearer. He rolled up his sleeve. "I didn't come this far to walk away now." He placed his hand on the crystal. A sharp pain shot through his body. His blood flowed into the machine, not through a cut, but through the bond itself. He screamed, falling to his knees, but didn't let go. His mind exploded with visions. Relia's childhood in a golden city. A sky turned black by enemy ships. Velari. Mothers shielding babies from falling fire. Elders weeping as their bond broke one by one. The AI core going silent the moment her blood touched his skin. The light exploded. A wave of silver energy pulsed outward from the machine. Kale's body went limp, collapsing beside the console. Outside, the sky changed. The ash began to fall slower. The wind softened. Color returned to the land. The dying Velari stood taller. The life thread pulsed once more. Relia caught Kale in her arms. He wasn't breathing. "Please," she whispered. "Don't take him. He's one of us now." The ice voice returned, low and calm. "Threadbearer life sign. Weak, but stable. Recovery possible." Tears rolled down Relia's face, and for the first time in years, she smiled. Kale woke up to the sound of birds, real birds. He blinked, confused. The air smelled fresh. The sky, once gray, was now soft blue with streaks of silver clouds. For a moment, he thought he was dreaming, but then he saw Aurelia's face, her eyes. Wet with tears, her hands shaking as they held his. "You're awake," she whispered. "You came back." Cale sat up slowly. His body felt weak, but something inside him had changed. He didn't feel fully human anymore. The bond inside him felt alive. Bigger than before. He looked around. Dozens of Velari were standing around. Them some old, some young, all looking stronger. Hope had returned to their faces. The life thread was healing them. He had done it. Relia helped him walk to a small stone platform where the ancient AI core still pulsed with low light. "You gave more than blood," it said in a deep voice. "You gave connection. That saved them." Cale nodded. Was it enough? "For now, but more may come." Just as those words ended, a sharp whistling sound cut through the air. Cale froze. "Is that?" Relia turned pale. A human ship. Within minutes, Earth's warship descended from orbit, casting a dark shadow over the half-healed ruins. Cale's heart dropped. They found me. Dozens of soldiers in black armor landed around them, weapons up. Eyes cold, a tall man stepped forward. General Rinner, head of Earth's Outer Threat Division. He looked at Cale like a traitor. "You broke quarantine. You stole a vessel. You contacted a species we declared unstable." Cale stepped forward, weak but fearless. "I saved a dying world." "That wasn't your decision to make," the general growled. "You don't know what you've started." Cale's voice rose. "Then look around. Do they look like a threat? These people were dying. I only gave them a chance to live." Rinner's face didn't change. He turned to his soldiers. "Secure the alien girl. Destroy the AI core. Bring the human back in chains," the Velari gasped. Relia moved in front of Cale. "You can't take him," she said, trembling. "He's one of us now. He carries the thread." The general pulled out a device. "That's exactly why he's dangerous. We can't allow this connection to exist." Cale realized the truth. Earth didn't want peace. They wanted control, and anything they couldn't control, they feared. A soldier moved toward Relia. Cale shoved him back. Instantly, a gun was aimed at Cale's head. "Don't make this harder," the general warned. "You're already a hero-turned-criminal." Cale took a deep breath. Then he raised his voice to the sky. "AI core, activate shield protocol. Protect all Velari life signatures." The ground trembled. The air shimmered. A transparent barrier rose around the platform, pushing the soldiers back. Guns fired, but the bullets bounced off harmlessly. Inside the dome, Relia looked at Cale. "You remembered the command words." "I felt them," Cale said. "They were part of the bond." Outside, the general screamed orders. Troops ran for heavier weapons. Earth was about to start a war, not with an army, but with one human and a group of broken survivors. Suddenly, the I Core spoke again. "Incoming Earth Command override detected. Defense limit, 5 minutes." Cale grabbed Relia's hand. "We need to escape. I need to make them see the truth. But not from here." She hesitated. "Where will you go?" "Home," he said, but not to obey, to stand up. He turned to the small group of Velari behind them. "Help me reach the ship." With seconds left before the shield dropped, the group ran toward Cale's stolen craft. Bullets started flying. Cale felt something burn across his arm. He gritted his teeth but didn't stop. Relia pulled him inside as the door slammed shut. "Launch now!" she shouted. The engines roared. The ship lifted. Outside, Earth soldiers screamed in rage as their target escaped into the sky once again. As they entered orbit, Relia bandaged Cale's wound. He looked at her, his face calm but determined. "They think I betrayed Earth," he said. "But I didn't betray anyone. I just didn't turn away." Relia placed a hand on his chest. You followed the bond. He nodded double quotes, and now I have to make the others see what I saw, feel what I felt, before Earth becomes the villain in its own story. She smiled softly. Then let's show them. The Earth Embassy on Mars was on high alert. Inside its cold metal walls, officers and diplomats gathered around glowing screens, watching one name flash again and again. Kale Vonn missing. Armed, bonded, dangerous. A general slammed his fist on the table. He's on his way back, and we don't know what he's bringing with him. But no one had answers. No one could explain why a simple technician now carried the genetic signature of an alien species, or why Earth's warship had failed to stop him. All they knew was this: Kale was coming home. And he wasn't alone. Above Earth's orbit, a small fast ship broke through the black sky. Inside, Kale stood at the window, looking down at the planet that had once been his whole world. Now it felt smaller. Relia came beside him. She could sense his heartbeat, fast, heavy, unsure. Do you still believe in them? She asked softly. I believe they're afraid, he said. But maybe if I show them what I saw, what I felt, they'll understand. She looked into his eyes. And if they don't? Kale was quiet for a long time. Then he said, then I'll make the choice Earth never made for peace. They landed on a secret airstrip just outside the city. No weapons. No troops. Just Kale and Relia walking hand in hand toward the gates of the embassy. Security locked onto them instantly. Guns rose. Drones hovered. Loudspeakers warned them to stop. Kale raised his hands. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to talk. Voice boomed. You're infected. Stay where you are. Kale shook his head. I'm not infected, I'm connected. They were taken into custody. Inside the embassy, Earth's top officials gathered in a glass room. Kale stood on one side, hands cuffed. Relia sat beside him, calm but silent. A woman in a navy blue suit leaned forward. You bonded with an alien species without permission. You crossed war zones. You triggered a defense system. And now, you want to talk? Kale nodded. Yes, because for the first time I can talk for two worlds. He looked at them. And then, without warning, he did something no one expected. He took a small silver device from his coat and slammed it onto the table. Security moved instantly, but Relia raised her hand. Stop, she said. It's not a weapon. The device lit up. A hologram opened above the room. A glowing silver web of voices, visions, and memories. And then the room filled with cries. The Lari mothers holding dead children. Cities covered in ash. Whispered prayers from the dying. The final call of the AI. And then Kale's own voice saying, I didn't turn away. The council froze. Some looked away. Some wept. One general whispered, Is this real? Kale spoke softly. This is what I carry now, their pain, their hope, and their trust. He pointed at his chest. I didn't ask for this, but I won't throw it away. But not all were convinced. One man stood. You gave Earth's enemy a second chance, without permission. Kale turned to him. Then give me a chance now. Let me go to the Galactic Assembly. Let me speak as a bonded one. Show them we don't fear the unknown, we learn from it. Another man said, that could start a political war. Kale nodded. Or it could stop one. The debate went on for hours. And finally, the council gave him a choice. Stand down. Break the bond. Let us study it, control it. And you go free. Kale looked at Relia. She said nothing, because she wanted the choice to be his. He stood tall. I'd rather lose my home than lose what I've become. The council looked at each other, then nodded. You leave at sunrise. You will speak for Earth, but if you fail, Kale finished the sentence. Then I stand alone. He turned to Relia. She reached out. And together, they walked into the dawn toward the unknown. The chamber was silent, not because it was empty, but because the beings inside had never seen anything like this before. Representatives from 42 worlds, humans, reptilians, feathered avians, glowing starfish-like beings, all watched the center of the Galactic Assembly Hall, where a single human stood alone. No guards, no weapons, just a young man with strange silver lines on his skin, and an alien woman by his side. His name was Cale Vaughn, and he was no longer just human. He took a breath. His voice was soft, but it carried through the great dome. I was a technician. I fixed broken doors. I cleaned filters. I wasn't special. Then one drop of alien blood touched my skin, and everything changed. He paused. Earth called me infected. Valari called me chosen, but I am neither. He looked around the room, locking eyes with every species. I am what happens when one soul listens to another. Murmurs rippled through the room. Some were skeptical, others curious. One delegate whispered to his neighbor, "He's not speaking for Earth. He's speaking for something new." Cale nodded toward Relia, standing tall beside him. "This is Relia. Her people were dying. Earth told me not to help, but I did. Not because I'm brave, but because I couldn't look away." He touched his chest where the bond pulsed. "Now her people live, and I carry them inside me. Their memories, their voices, their pain." The lights in the dome dimmed slightly, and a soft hum filled the air. The life thread was activating, not through machines, through Cale. Every being in the hall felt it, a soft warmth in their chest, a whisper in their minds, a memory that wasn't theirs. A child reaching for her father in a burning city, a mother singing in a silver cradle, a boy from Earth giving a hand to a girl made of stars. Many gasped. Some cried, for the first time. The assembly felt what Cale had carried alone. An old alien leader, his skin like crystal, spoke. "You showed us something not even science could explain. A bond deeper than species, deeper than blood." He turned to the others. "This is not infection. This is evolution." But not everyone agreed. A human representative stood up. "If we allow this, we blur the lines of identity. What happens when we all become mixed? Do we lose who we are?" Cale smiled gently. "Or maybe we find who we are." He stepped forward. "I'm not asking you to erase borders. I'm asking you to open your hearts." The assembly voted. Lights blinked across the hall, green for yes, red for no. One by one, the green lights outnumbered the red, and then a final chime echoed. Approval, 74%. Cale had done it. The Valari were accepted back into the Galactic Union. Earth was praised for allowing the bond to grow. And Cale was given a new title, Threadbearer of Unity. He wasn't a soldier, not a diplomat, not even a hero. He was a bridge, a living message, that sometimes peace doesn't come from power. It comes from one hand reaching out when no one else would. Later, in the garden dome above the stars, Relia sat beside Cale under glowing vines. "You didn't just save my people," she whispered. "You saved the part of me that believed in others." Cale leaned back. "I didn't save anyone alone. We saved each other." She rested her head on his shoulder. And for the first time in years, the galaxy slept a little more peacefully, because one man listened to a cry no one else could hear. And answered it.